Hey neighbors, welcome to the live season 2 finale of a Bards Tale, the Bards Tale featuring Bards.
We just destroyed the audio again.
How we play.
But we are here in studio, and you're here with us, and we're happy to see that. And then maybe some more people will join us in a bit.
Tell your friends.
On Twitch, not in studio. We don't have more people coming. Don't
Brian,
get
don't you
excited.
think introductions are in order because it's been so long?
It has been a while, so why don't we go around and
Disappointed in you, Brian.
go through and introduce ourselves
What
and our
side of the table
characters.
do you want, Dave?
We'll start with
This guy.
this side.
Wrong side, Dave.
Try again, Dave.
Because if you say
Hey,
alien,
Three.
Camera, there we go.
Hey, there's it.
Tyler Anderson playing recently outed Snake Man Nadir Limoja.
And where can
Yeah, you weren't
people
here for
find
that.
you
You
on the
don't know
webs?
Instagram.com/InstantEvil1 and InTheEarOfTheRabbit.com.
Neat.
Right?
Yes, that's where we can find you. I knew that. I'm LaTia. I play the purple tiefling Lotus. I'm not purple because today I couldn't be bothered. Camera's not on me, I don't think.
Dave? Dave, you should be on camera 3.
The red light is
The
not.
red
looking
light's
at
not
me.
on camera 3 anymore,
Hollywood's
Dave.
fascinating.
nope.
Camera 3!
The camera's definitely watching you
All
try
right,
to
so
sip water.
don't worry about that.
All right.
He's
Okay, fine.
definitely on camera 3.
Okay.
Oh,
Keep
okay. Well, yeah. I play Lotus, the tiefling, who is purple, but I'm not purple because that's too much work right now. You can find me twitter.com/lmtiefling or on Instagram at Jack with a Q of many trades.
Superb. I am Bill Allan. I am playing the half-elf rogue barbarian named Ray, which has no Y. It's just R-E, like R, but
Ray. A drop of golden
and
sun.
Ray is, he's a folk hero, for those who don't know. For centaurs. Like, centaurs appreciate his half-breed personality and his low charisma, because they probably also have low charisma.
Despite none of them being half.
No,
Despite you not being half anything that they are. But
that's true.
yeah.
So, and
There's
I
my
am
favorite.
to be found at the Bill Allan or Bill Allan World on the things.
Hi, my name is Joe Kauzlarich.
Wait.
Wait.
There we go.
Wait.
Dave.
And I play Skylark the Everfree, a fairy knight who wants to bring joy to everyone, including you, our viewers.
And look at that helmet. It is.
Look at that. Thank you.
Didn't you wear that helmet to your wedding?
No,
Oh.
I wore everything else to my wedding.
You wore a different helmet at your wedding.
The wings, too?
No, I had a sword and shield at my wedding.
You
Okay.
had butterfly wings on at your wedding?
No.
It's everything
No,
else.
that would be...
Not
like
this.
everything.
Not
Very.
this everything.
I like how you say bring joy
What?
to everyone across the world, even if you have to stab it into them.
That's a different kind
Joe,
of
that
joy.
helmet is exquisite.
Thank you.
I feel like I could probably trim my mustache in the reflection of it. That's,
You keep it clean. That's
Yeah.
nice. Are you on the medias at all under things or no?
No,
Okay.
leave me alone.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Beautiful.
Hooray. We're going to keep moving around
Yeah.
the table?
yeah.
Hi friends, I'm Blue, and my name is Elise. I play Iona, the Triton Bard. I'm still blue except for my hands, which I forgot about but also didn't have time for.
The judges
so-
on Face Off would be disappointed in you.
Yeah, they would. I'm sorry.
So, Elise, let's talk a little bit while Dave is getting that camera back on so
Oh,
everybody can
sure.
see your pretty makeup.
You
How
are
did you
gorgeous.
achieve this look?
I achieved this look by having a lot of junk that I don't use in my normal life.
That we wanted out of the garage.
Yeah, no, just like acquiring lots of makeup that like I don't usually use on the daily, and then I put all of it on today.
Yay. I think it's worth it.
All of it.
I think it's worth it. There we go.
Yeah.
So, and where did you get your ears?
I made these ears out of craft foam and also makeup.
Yay.
It's impressive.
And tears.
I
There
think
were
the-
tears.
They look a lot better than I ever thought they would.
Yeah,
so.
they look.
Thank you. I made them last night and I started at 10.
Thank
That's-
you, and to hell with you.
They are fantastic.
Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, my name is Elise, and I live on the internet. And you can find me at Elise Forer on Instagram. That's ELISEFORER. You can also find me at Ceramic Bones on Twitter, because that's the Twitter name I've had since 2008.
There you
so
Does that
that's
mean
what
your
it
bones
is.
are really brittle?
It
or-
means that I was once an emo kid with a ceramics business. So
Oh, there you go. I'll do it.
yeah, that's how it starts.
I got it.
Yep.
I got it. I see you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, I am Chris Escalante, and I am playing the closeted tiefling, which I realize, having rewatched the episodes, was never made clear to the audience. And hopefully some of the art will in the future. You can find me on Twitter at Chris E. Warlock, or on Twitch and YouTube at Wholesome Satan if you want to see absolutely no content whatsoever.
Yay.
It's Satan with a 5.
Oh, that's what it is.
I am the DM. I am the handyman at Initiative Coffee Co. You can find me at Initiative Coffee Co. and at Coffee Co. on Twitter, or Initiative Handyman on Twitter for my own personal stuff that I never post on because I have a business to run. We have a couple of announcements. One, it looks like we will be joining Greg Tito for Dragon Talk. LaTia and I will be joining Greg Tito for Dragon Talk on
Yay!
the 17th of this month.
17th of September.
Yes.
September, and D&D's Twitch channel
Yay!
during Dragon Talk, which is on Mondays,
Yeah.
and it will be. They don't know what time slot they're going to slot us in for, whether it's the first hour or the second hour, but
Oh, cool.
you should watch the whole thing because it's all very informative and good information.
It's great,
Yeah.
Tito.
Greg Tito is the community manager for D&D because he's a boss.
And he's a
and
wonderful guy.
He's a really nice dude.
He's super
Yeah,
nice.
we met him at Origins, and he's super pleasant. And
Well, I didn't
I'm
meet him
really-
at Origins.
Well, I met
I'm
him
looking
at
forward to
Origins.
meeting him on Dragon Talk.
Origins.
Or Game Hole, if he's going to be at Game Hole.
He might be.
He might be.
Yeah, I think D&D goes to Game Hole Con. Other
Definitely
announcements.
does.
We have a pretty substantial convention coming up. It's not real big. It's actually a one-day, very small convention, but it'll be fun. September 22nd on Saturday in Joliet, Illinois, if you're local near us, is Galaxy Fine Art and Galaxy Comic Book and Fine Art Expo. We'll be running an Adventures League epic from season 5. We'll be navigating all of the intricacies of the new Adventures League rules formats, and we will make the best of it because
It's gonna be
it'll be
great.
fun.
The snack con for people who want cons between meal cons.
Right? Yeah, it's like a brunch con.
That's a good idea. We should
Brunch
start
con?
off brunch con.
Hashtag
Like
brunch
mini
con
cons?
TS
I mean,
for
just
like
GMT.
one
No,
day
like
events.
literally a weekend where we just play games between like 10 a.m. and 2, and we eat while we're doing it. We have brunch, like a brunch buffet. So you pay your entrance fee, you get to play, and then there's a all-you-can-eat brunch. That, we might lose money.
Yeah, that sounds like a terrible financial plan.
Bill, you assume we haven't lost a lot of money
hey,
doing
hey,
things. Not
hey.
you. We the
Well,
people.
also I. In addition,
You do brunch, but you charge for mimosas.
Oh.
There it is.
There it is.
Liquor license.
Mimosas and what's those with the tomato sauce?
Bloody Mary.
Dress like a
Mary.
businessman, thinks like a businessman.
Right. In addition, we have a couple of big deals going on. We're partnered with Holly Conrad for our first Help Action Coffee Roast, part of the Help Action Coffee program.
What's
You
it
can
called,
find-
Brian?
You can find Snickety Snooks on the website at initiativecoffeeco.com/helpaction. $3 from every bag sold goes to an organization called Anxiety Gaming. They help match up gamers with mental health practitioners and facilities, as well as have a research
Have
wing.
used it.
That's fantastic. And you could help people that help out people right here in the Bards Tale. So check that out. Trying to think. GalaxyCon is coming up and is neat. We aren't running the morning show on Monday because like Labor Day or whatever.
And no crew. So
We don't have a crew because Labor Day. They frown upon that. We're okay with that. They get like one day, so it's fine.
Yep.
So we won't be doing Rise and Roll on Monday. check it out next Monday at 6:30 Central Standard Time.
It's so early,
It's
but
real
so
early.
good.
It's a great way to start your day.
So early, but so
It's
good.
like the Today Show for nerds.
Yes.
Yeah. I
Exactly.
watch
That's
it-
what we're going for. So
Yes.
I watch it like while I'm putting my makeup on.
That's
and
right.
stuff.
Yep.
You can do other things while you watch it, like eat breakfast.
In
and
fact, I recommend it.
Yeah.
take a shower.
Join
Drink
us.
coffee, for instance.
Challenge.
With-
us.
For those wondering if Bill Allen's energy is different on the show than it is in real life, it's not. He's always that up, right
He's
here,
amped all the
Always
time.
on.
24 hours a day.
Nice.
It's mainly because of my constant subscription to Initiative Coffee. That's the primary reason. It just flows through my veins.
He's going to be
like,
chewing coffee beans.
I just thought it was a
Right?
debilitating
So
drug
it's
habit.
just-
like
sustains
liquid
me.
cocaine.
If you're confused about what subscription he's talking about, we'll come up with it soon, I
Yes.
guess, because he
That's right.
just made it canon.
Well,
So
we used to have it,
we did used to have one, but it
Yeah.
didn't. It was a pilot
but
test.
none of you
bringing it
nerds
back.
bought it.
We'll bring it back.
One
at
more
some point.
thing, people. We are very proud. We of the LTTV studio here are very proud to share that our production now is legit officially sponsored by Blackmagic Design.
That's fantastic.
So yes,
thanks.
so a large portion of our fantastic video
Sweet.
production, amazing quality facilities and equipment, is thanks to Blackmagic Design.
And
so
viewers
they
like
are
you.
big supporters of the gaming community.
Indeed.
They're backing a lot of the larger actual play groups, Maze Arcana being one of them, but just many others. And there are other big game people who are doing their stuff with Blackmagic equipment. So it's kind of cool to be a part of that community as well. And
They're
we like
backing
to show
all
off.
the big gaming folks and also us for some reason.
Yes.
Wow. Thanks, BMD.
Yeah.
And I will have to say, as a person who isn't super good at like camera stuff, all of their cameras are super approachable
Yes.
to like learn how to use and like implement into. So, like, I support them, not just because they support us, because they're also real good stuffs.
And we use their stuff at Gen Con, and that was how you
Yeah.
got to
That's
see
killer,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh!
And,
Yes.
and that was your first big scale video production, so you got to see it and use it, and it was pretty user friendly.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Gen Con was a blast. We went, we
Oh my
crewed
gosh,
it. It was
yes.
awesome.
If you're really interested in finding out more about our experiences at Gen Con, check out the episode of Rise and Roll from last week.
Yes.
Oh,
Look at that
Ayy.
promotion.
cross-functional
You're
getting good at this,
emotion.
buddy.
Nailed
See
it.
that? It's almost like I don't cry in my pillow at night.
Yeah.
Almost.
He does.
Boy, does he.
So that is all of my announcements. Does anybody else have any big announcements that they are hiding from the world?
No.
If you go to GameholeCon in November, Chris and I will be running.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yay.
Yeah.
We'll be running
Check out
some-
GameholeCon. I don't know that we'll be there,
Season
but-
8 content.
Heck yeah, we can
Wow.
get
Season 8
our
content,
feet wet
yeah.
in season 8 content.
Mm.
That's
Do
all.
you guys already have access to Season 8 content?
No.
It's premiering at GameholeCon.
Some of it is.
Yeah,
So a
but
lot
you
of
have
it
to
is.
have it ahead of time to run it.
I mean,
We'll
Well, yeah,
get it.
we're like 4 months out.
We are running FiChens, and I'm pretty sure it will be the first time FiChens is run in Chicago at GalaxyCon.
Oh, cool.
So if
Oh,
you
wow.
want to check out the new FiChens from
that
Season
Fight.
8, because they're changing a bunch of rules, check out GalaxyCon. We'll have a big raffle that Cards
Cool.
Against Humanity hooked us up
It's
for.
Cards Against Humanity, Secret Hitler.
Secret Hitler, it
We're
sounds like
gonna have
D&D is gonna send
kids
some stuff.
raffles.
Awesome.
We're
You
just
get
gonna
your
have-
own
Kid. We have a pool of children that you can choose from to take home with you.
Just
We've
toss a
already
ring around
weeded
their
out
neck.
all the gingers.
Take one
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not for sale, just for raffle.
Right.
Yes.
It makes it less illegal. So that's all the announcements. No.
Oh no, I got another announcement.
Oh.
Brian and I are getting another cat. There it is. It's it's canon now.
That's like right up there with you being like, pregnant.
No,
Same thing.
we're not. We're not.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
We're pregnant.
Jude will hate
Jude's
another
gonna have a
cat.
litter.
Jude doesn't want another cat in the house.
Gee,
Yes,
I
he
have an
does. He
extra
doesn't
dog
know
from
yet.
Arkansas. I mean, you could have Scooter. He's the only dog. But he's extra, so you can just have him.
Oh, okay.
I don't want your dog either.
Damn it.
We got a full house.
All right.
All right. So last time on the Bard's Tale, I'm going to recap because I think it's been a while, and you guys can fill in whatever I miss. Last time on the Bards Tale, the intrepid minstrels sailed to an island inhabited almost entirely by centaurs.
Neat.
Yes.
They inhabited a weird, mucky goo-like substance on the way there that they collected because it had a fire-retardant property. And then they kept it in a barrel on the boat, and then they found out it was just a water elemental that hadn't elementalized yet. So
We're dumb.
they had a long, grueling battle with a water elemental.
We
and
almost
then-
died. We almost died.
It's true.
I jumped off the boat in
You
anger.
jumped off the boat, and that was a poor choice.
Everyone jumped off the boat who can't breathe water. I just want to point
I
that
didn't
out.
jump off the boat.
Yeah.
Because you were too busy breathing water on the boat.
It's true.
That's true.
Then they managed to somehow sneak out of victory and get to land, where they noticed that Iona was missing. A second barrel of goopy water was missing, and the boat's
Crew hold?
crew hold. I don't know. Quarters. Yeah,
Sure.
that's what they call it. Crew quarters was locked, and no one was answering the door when they pounded on it. Spooky. So instead of fighting with the door, they decided to get off the boat and go and deal with the centaurs. The centaurs told them about a group of serpent people that were befouling a sacred site. And they were sent to deal with it. They were attacked by some serpenty type folks on the way there. And we left off with everyone but Iona about 200 meters away from the site itself, investigating and doing some recon on just what force they're dealing with. And it's not good. So that's where we'll start.
Now, if I remember correctly, and my notes are very limited to crude sketches
Sure.
and syllables, but we had gotten pretty close to the bridge, and those of us amongst the stealthier crowd had kind of crept up to a small rise to kind of see what we were able to see.
We'll say you're like here-ish. And you're looking out over what is clearly a camp.
Right.
A tree has been fallen to kind of navigate across the river. It is a fairly fast-moving river. It moves fast enough to push a centaur's corpse over waterfalls.
Yes.
So it's pretty substantial. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at.
So, do we see like
Where are we?
numbers?
Over there.
Yeah.
So we
you
would
guys
be
are
up
like
there. So
over
do
here.
we see like how many lurker?
Sure, you
people
see
there are?
about 40 what look to be like laborers, basically, that are like preparing the site for some kind of ritual. In addition, you see maybe a half a dozen folks that look like they are commanding that labor force. And then you see 4 very reptilian kind of creatures. Think like reptile from Mortal Kombat, but not like the ninja reptile, like the dinosaur-y reptile. But they're
one at the
more
end of the
like.
Oh, Mortal Kombat the movie, not the game.
But they are.
It was like
He gets
that
more
early
reptile
games
in the
too.
game.
But they are
Yeah,
not
it doesn't-
Dragonborn, because I saw Dragonborn.
They're clearly not Dragonborn.
talking
no.
in the inn with.
Right, they're not Dragonborn. They are
Lotus.
more serpentine.
Okay, so that's, and are they armed? Do we notice if they're armored and armed?
They appear to be armed. Yes.
Okay.
And the laborers appear to be willing laborers. They don't appear to be like slave labor.
Okay.
When you say they look serpentine, are they like?
They have like serpentine features, like thinner faces. Some of them have fangs.
Slit noses.
But are they clearly like long snouted like snake heads?
One of them is,
Oh,
and that one is
Sneaky Joe.
shown. He's clearly preparing some kind of ritual site.
Do you, does it, I guess, do I see like people coming in and out of tents
Yes.
as well? Okay.
What time of day was it again?
It's dawn, like before
That's
pre
right.
dawn.
So, yeah, it's like
We snuck
Yeah.
up at
super
nighttime,
early
so we
morning.
wouldn't
Like
give
the
up.
sun is like
Blink.
Yeah, it's coming from that way.
The
South. Yeah, I'm sorry, the fireman.
do I see? I don't know if you need me to make a perception check from there, but do I see any captured centaurs or corpses of centaurs that are anywhere out there, or especially near that sacrificial area?
Roll a perception check.
I'm gonna give you my my spyglass.
Ooh,
Roll with advantage.
ooh. The 10 or the 4? I'll take the 10. 13 total.
You don't see any centaurs or
Okay.
corpses of centaurs. You do see some goblins that are.
Tied up.
They look like they're tied up. Yeah.
I whisper to everybody else who's crouched down. Looks like those snake people are putting together some kind of ritual. Don't see any centaurs, but I see some goblins. Take a look for yourself.
Yoink.
He like directs the spyglass where it needs to go, and you're like, oh yeah, there's
Yeah,
like
there.
4
Those sure do
goblins
look like goblins.
Correct.
Let's say,
Sorry if you've mentioned this already, but are we still? You said there was a waterfall that kind of dumps the corpses.
So
Is that
here's the
where
waterfall.
this begins? Okay.
This is
That's
the
the
waterfall. So the water's flowing this way.
Flowing.
Waterfall's here. The felled tree goes over the water. It's not damming up the water.
Okay,
It's
I
not
was gonna
damming
ask
the
So
water,
that.
it's bridging the
acts
water.
like a bridge.
Okay.
We are
Like up
we're
here.
to the north and on the
No, you're
west
to the
side.
south. This is the
Okay,
south.
sorry, I have my map flipped around.
Yeah.
So we're on the southeast side,
Yeah.
and that's the Smoothheart tribe, the chief that we met.
Kaneshka.
Kaneshka.
Is there. So do we see any kind of like wagons or trails or people moving to and fro this area to another direction? In other words, do they have another base camp anywhere else where we see people leaving
Not
other
that you
than
can
this
tell.
area? Okay, so they're on both sides of the river.
Nadir, can you roll me a history check, please, with advantage?
With advantage.
Ooh, with advantage.
Hot damn. That's a 14. That's a 5. So I'm gonna go with a 17.
So you recognize the ritual that's going on.
Okay.
It's a ritual to bring about like an ancient spirit of the serpent people.
Great.
But it's a ritual that like the rest of the empire sees as like a backwards ritual because it doesn't like it's like folklore.
It doesn't do anything.
Like it's like weird cults of like old timers and like backwards thinkers that like perform this ritual in hope that it will do something.
But it
But
never
as
does.
far as you remember, you've never seen it successful.
So
In the and you've been away for 10 years, but
yeah. So my impression is that this is a whole bunch of hokum,
yeah,
and they're wasting their time.
yeah,
And we maybe don't even need to intercede because it's not going to matter. It's not going to do anything.
could be. I mean,
Now-
aside from the fact that the centaurs had told you to eliminate this problem.
Yeah, no, absolutely. My question, how angry would the centaurs be if we shoved snake people into the very fast-moving waterfall where we'll go over the edge and die? Is it real mad? Or would they more likely get caught on this tree, drown, and then we can just fish them out?
So last time we talked about the ritual component of this river, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, the centaur put their dead in this river,
Yeah,
and the
their
river
cycle of
brings
rebirth.
the next like generation to them in a very literal fashion. Like
Yeah.
the souls were
That's-
made in the river,
This isn't hokum.
right? As far like you
As far
don't
as we
know,
know, yeah.
but like they have a firm belief, and like statistics prove like
The science
demography
is there.
Sure.
proves it. Like people only are born when other people die.
Sure.
They would probably not be super pumped because it means that like the souls of serpent folk would become
Yeah.
part of their tribe, and that's probably not the
Not
best
something
plan.
they want. Sure.
But you know what? In the spirit of
Togetherness.
yes, togetherness and unity. No, I'm just.
And
You
putting,
really
putting
are
our-
a man trapped between two cultures.
putting
aren't
our issues aside and embracing our differences.
Are the centaur familiar with the phrase "If you can't beat them, join them"?
Okay.
We're beating
so
them so they
what is
can
this?
join
What is
them.
this ritual called? Do I know?
It's called the Dawn of. I don't know. What is it called? You're the one that's the Yanti.
It's a great question.
Oh, no, thoughts and feelings.
All right, guys. So looking at what's going on over there, it looks an awful lot like they're doing this like super old ritual. It's like the coming of the I don't remember. It's something that doesn't work. It doesn't like for as long as I was around. Anytime they tried to do this, it doesn't really work. It's a bunch of like it's just like the old guard thinking they need to do this because it makes the crops grow or whatever. But that's not what happens.
The coming of the question marks.
Yeah, the coming of the
You should, to frame this out a little bit in terms of the cultural aspects, it would be like the Rome transferred to Christianity, and people were still doing like rituals to Jupiter, or like Rome Artemis. I don't know the translation.
yeah.
I don't know
Gotcha.
like the relabels.
So this ritual doesn't, to my knowledge, actually do anything, but they're still trying it. They're a bunch of weird fanaticists.
Can't stand those
Hey, Nadir.
fanaticists.
You know what?
Do they typically do this ritual in places that have religious significance to other cultures, or is this the first time you've seen it done like this?
Brian.
Roll an insight check.
Zoop. 20.
They do the ritual in historically relevant places,
Okay.
but not necessarily things that have like a noted belief of being somehow
Places that are
Divine.
historically relevant to Yanti, or places that are
to
historically
Yanti
relevant.
or other. Like there were other people here before the Yanti Empire grew,
Sure.
and so there are ruins throughout these islands.
So
they will do them in those
places
ruins.
of significance.
Yeah.
So places of historical significance mostly, not like broad historical significance, not just to us.
But you can't think of a time when they did it like in a place where like divine magic exists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't really frame things
So-
in that way.
So
but
they may be doing this here because of its significance to the centaurs.
Yeah.
Because I've never known them to seek out places where there's established, magic and to do it there. It's usually just like, well, a battle was fought here. We're gonna do the ritual.
What's the end goal? Like, what are they trying to do? with this
Apocalypse.
ritual?
I'm kidding. I don't actually know.
Roll one more insight check
All right.
with disadvantage.
With disadvantage. Well, that's a 19 and that's a 12. You said insight?
Yes.
So it's a 17.
It occurs to you that you have not like seen this ritual or heard of this ritual being performed. I mean, you left your culture for 10 years.
Yeah.
But within those 10 years, contact with other planes has opened up. So like
Sure.
Leviathans are here now.
Yeah.
And
So it's
divine magic
It's possible it's
somehow
not-
exists.
it's-
like
yeah. There's that little thread of it might be legit now. Let's assume that it's gonna work and
Kill
kill
them?
them all. Kill them all. Kill them all.
it does look like they're about 2 to 3 days away from having the site like prepped for
Ready.
this area.
Okay.
Oh.
So we have time. They're probably going to be prepping the area for another couple of
Say
days.
enough time to run back to camp and
To get
pick up
Iona
party
and-
members.
yeah,
or
Just enough time.
Does
Which I'll remind you all, she doesn't know, and we're going to keep it that way.
Oh, right.
does the ritual involve any artifacts, or is it just them doing it in a specific place?
blood sacrifice.
Blood sacrifice. Would I know? Then I'm assuming that the goblins are the sacrifice.
Goblins and then like the most fanatical
Well,
will sacrifice themselves.
okay.
Excellent.
Do I? And now remind me again. What's the end result of this?
It
ritual?
brings about an ancient spirit of the serpent folk
It's a
people
spirit of the serpent folk.
from somewhere else.
Yeah. So it
Presumably given
brings
flesh.
a spirit of the Yanti to this plane.
who will then eat us all.
So, it's kind of the thing we should stop.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about spirits to know whether that's a good or a bad thing. If it's not here already, I'm going to assume it's a bad thing because it doesn't belong here. But I'm all for stopping it.
Also, there's only evidence of Yuan-Ti being problematic to the rest of the cultures on
Sure.
this
Yeah,
continent.
that's why I left.
So,
We're bad people.
I appreciate your chance at reform.
Thanks.
Do I believe him at all, by the way?
Hmm?
Do I believe, like, anything that he's telling us, like, do I believe him at this point? Because he's been recently ousted as one of them.
that's up to you. I mean, you can choose to believe him or not believe him. If you want to make some sort of like insight roll versus his persuasion, that's fine. But like ultimately,
Not even going to persuade you. Just going to let you.
Okay.
like I'm not going to dictate to you your character's motivations. So
No, I mean, not my motivate. I mean, I would dictate my motivations after finding out whether or not he seems genuine or not. Like,
there's
that's-
nothing. He hasn't said anything that seems like it was like a big step for him just to like come out and admit it. So he hasn't really said anything that seems like underhanded or
Okay.
like he's shifting guilt or blame or anything. He seems genuinely interested in stopping them.
Can I tell what the tents are made of? Is it like a cloth,
Sure.
a canvas, a
Roll
hide?
perception from
Here's-
this far out
Take my spyglass.
with advantage because you've got a spyglass.
Oh, good. 6.
Patchwork leather.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't really tell this far away like what the leather is of, but it's a patchwork of leather.
The leather's made of people.
There is some like reptilian leather for sure. So
So they're not just like skin
essentially,
cuts?
like,
Get me a
them,
handbag.
Who knows? You know?
Reptilian leather, yellow
Okay,
leather.
so a couple more things before we head back. Is there anywhere a little further away from the river where we could, like when we return, where we could kind of make a little sneaky zigzag pattern to get closer to where this tree crossing occurs? Like, so we're up there. Can I kind of from this point recon to see
Like
if
a roundabout route?
like a roundabout way?
Yeah. So you can actually like with your spyglass, with Nadir's spyglass,
Yeah.
you can spot like a ridge that runs along like a larger hill that will bring you up just at like the far tree
Okay.
Can I?
with relative stealth.
So we've gotten the impression from sneaking up here that they're patrolling because we ran into those dudes and we fought those dudes while we thought we were being sneaky. So they're patrolling around. Are they like gathering resources from the area for this ritual? Are they just kind of like
It looks
keeping
like
other
they're
people
keeping
out?
people away from this ritual.
Okay.
Would be your guess.
Ray, since you know the centaurs better than the rest of us, and I wouldn't want to do anything to make them want to kill me, how mad would they be if we set a bunch of the forest on fire?
Super pissed.
Yes.
Super pissed?
Right. Right.
That isn't going to happen.
Well, because my thought here, and let's just assume I'm whispering, my thought here is they're patrolling. We know they're walking around. They seem to be trying to keep people away. A diversion that gets as many of them out of here as possible might make it easier for us to get in and mess up this ritual.
Right.
Roll-
I've got a
roll
couple ideas
an
about
insight
that,
check.
mate.
It's like my 5th one today. I forget, do I have my proficiency?
Are you proficient?
Yes.
Then yes.
Okay, so that's a 16. And all my other rolls were way higher.
Sure. Based off your knowledge of your own people, if something catastrophic happened to this group of like this devout group of people, like within eyesight, they wouldn't investigate it. They would double down on defending this ritual site.
So if a big explosion went off somewhere,
They would be further on guard here, to
okay.
protect this site.
knowing my people, can I think of anything that would draw people away?
A gigantic illusion of the snake spirit. and then they're like, hey, we don't have to do the ritual. He's here already.
That's true.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyone be able to cast Major Illusion?
No, but I have deception at mad. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, Ray, you're gonna get on Galileo's shoulders.
Yeah.
We're gonna get a big cloak. We're gonna
No.
do two-man.
Sorry,
snake
one
dance.
character. He has
tallest
an
snake
8.
spirit.
I'm horrible.
Could
I
do
am
that.
historically not good.
The world's tallest doctor.
Brian,
Give me 2 days, I can sew a lab coat.
can I, as a
Oh,
person
I
who's
don't know.
not here, leave the table so I don't know any of this?
I mean, you already know it.
No,
all.
because we're
And
coming back to get you anyway,
you.
and we're going to
Yeah,
tell you
we're on
everything.
our
Oh, okay. I
The
didn't
time
know.
to do that was 10 minutes ago.
I didn't think you guys would be
Okay,
coming
so
back for me.
real quick, mate, here's my idea. We're going to go get Iona. We're going to come up with a plan, which I already have in my head.
Maybe she's made friends with that thing.
We're going to use whatever she's got. We're going to use all of our resources. We'll come up with a great plan. And then we're going to come back, light everything on fire.
No.
Interrupt the ritual.
Yes.
No, not the forest. The tents, mate. The tents.
Ah.
I got ideas.
What
We
if
got to
the-
get oil.
What if the tents aren't lightable?
It'll work. Just trust me. We're gonna create the diversion that you want to create, but actually kill people with it. And we're gonna cross that, interrupt that, save the goblins, kill the big snake guy, and then call it a good day. And then we're gonna go collect mushrooms off of centaur dung and be rich.
Yeah, you can do that part
Go
on
to the
your own.
Winchester, have a pint,
Right.
and wait for it all to blow over.
Now let's
We're
go
going to
get.
save the goblins.
We're gonna save the goblins, mate. We don't want them to get ritualized.
Well, no.
Otherwise, they'll
Did you
like
want
what he said.
Do you want to kill the goblins?
No, I'm just.
Okay, that was just out of character for
I'm
you,
trying
so
to
I was
understand how
confused.
you
I mean,
all
why not?
differentiate the murder victims from the non-murder victims.
So the goblins, if they was here, they would. They don't live here.
The ones that are tied up are maybe.
There ain't no goblins
Yeah.
that live on this island. They ain't native, in other words. They was brought here by the snake people to be sacrificed.
I wonder if they're the goblins.
I
that
mean, there were
messed
no
up on the
goblins that
island.
lived on Batten Island either,
Right.
but they were
So-
also invading town or sanctuary. I guess.
I'm,
it's
I'm
called.
not so much worried about the goblins as I am about interrupting that ritual that he says is going to bring a big snake spirit, because that's going to make it just even more harder, more difficult. So that's how we got to get Iona and get back here with a plan.
Let's go.
Can we hear any of them speaking from where we're at? Like, is there like a foreman yelling or a foreman? I mean, I don't know. Do they have somebody
Not
cracking a
really.
whip?
They're working
They
surprisingly
do have foremen.
quietly.
Brian
they
said
have
they had-
foremen,
they're a
like
foreman.
overseers, but like all of the labor is willing and know the ritual.
Yeah, they-
so
they all
like,
know
they
what
don't
they're
need
doing.
a lot of instructions. They have like the task that's assigned to them for this ritual.
They're unionized.
Put your helmet back on.
Helmet of shame.
It's the medieval dunce cap.
All right.
So
no
I'm
yelling.
going to assume that we're going to go
Yeah,
back,
let's head back.
Yeah.
Let's
Sneaking on back.
through the lowlands of the Smoothheart tribe and take the circuitous route.
Okay.
So we're not going to go back where we ran into a patrol along the river, 'cause
Remind
that was
me-
dumb. We're going to go around through the lowlands back up to get Iona.
Remind me again, are the centaurs
There's 3
a
tribes.
pacifist people?
No,
No.
So
No.
would they be willing to help us?
they can't.
They
Oh,
can't
that's-
come
here.
to this.
That's right. They're not allowed here
That's-
because
that's
it's
the
sacred.
problem.
That's
You're
why
right.
we're
Okay.
here.
And they don't all get along
That's right.
either.
Yeah.
So the Highlands tribe is different
No,
from
no,
the
I
two
remember.
lowlands
It's just been a
tribes.
while.
Like
It's been a
like
while.
if the Smoothheart tribe came here, that would essentially be an act of war
Yeah.
with the
Right.
other tribes.
But what if all of them come here at once?
They tried that.
What if we unite?
Didn't they have like a moot
the
or something like
tribes?
that?
Like
where-
none of them are willing to break. Like it's not just like a handshake agreement. It's like a ceremonial pact, and there are very, I don't want to say superstitious people, but there are very like ritualistic people, and none of them are willing to take the chance of breaking
All
the
right.
pact. So.
No reforms.
Can't blame a guy for trying. All right, let's head on back.
All right,
Okay.
we go back. I
Let's
navigate
go
us through the
get Iona.
circuitous
Sure.
route.
Make a survival check.
16.
Sure. What's your passive perception?
10. Wait, what is my passive perception?
10 plus your wisdom, and then your proficiency bonus if you're proficient.
I am. So 13. I don't know why I have 10 written down here.
Okay. So it takes you guys about a day and a half to get back to camp. And you notice a few things. You notice at some point during the first day, you hear what sounds like combat
And this is in the Smoothheart tribe lands? In the lowlands?
on the way back. Yeah.
Within the first day, you said?
Within the first day, yeah. And eventually you like wait for the sound to go away and you go and investigate and you see a bloodbath. Like there's
no.
blood all over what is clearly a battle site, but you don't see any bodies, no weapons, no like tools or any like debris left behind, just a lot of blood.
A very tidy massacre.
Yeah.
Any trails?
Well, yeah.
Any trails of blood?
No, actually. There's pools and trails that lead to like the outside of like copses of trees, but none that lead further. Like you can spend some time to follow them, but
Yes.
like the blood trails
So there's
die off
no-
within like 100 feet of where these. There's like 3 different battle sites
Okay.
that you spot.
Would it be a I know tracking's kind of encompassed under survival, but I don't think it's. I'm not really tracking, but I would like to know if there's any, like, body parts or like, you know, hair. Basically, I'm looking for like if this was centaurs.
Any
Like,
forensic?
roll
Are there,
investigation.
yeah, like any body parts
It's an
or
investigation.
investigation? All right, 12.
No, like you don't like as you're tracking. Like it's clearly, these are not horsemen. Like they're not. You like the tracks on the ground aren't like hooves.
They're boots.
They're boots.
Okay.
Some of them are oddly small. They look like halfling-sized boots.
Or goblin-sized boots.
Could be.
Okay.
You do see like paws. Maybe they're employing some sort of like war beast or something.
And likewise, no like lizard, kind of like reptilian scaly skin that we could see.
No skin at all.
Like that guy sized.
Yeah, no skin at all.
Have we seen these beast tracks before?
I don't think so.
Because we've tracked other beasts that had paw feet.
I mean, they look. It looks like some sort of like wolf, maybe.
Like a wolf.
Oh.
Brian, can I make a history roll with my knowledge of this island to see if there are any natural predators that the centaurs have regular occurrences with that could do this kind of, like, I'm thinking like dire wolf or
Sure.
big ass
Yeah, go for it.
lions, you know, like the. I suck. These dice suck. Krafa, bring me new dice. All right. That's a failure. I have 2.
You do know that there are like predators
Yeah.
on the island. Like
But
that's
this
not
is a
something you would
bloodbath.
have to-
Yeah,
This is not like,
Like
oh,
like the amount of blood isn't surprising.
right.
What's surprising is there's nothing left.
Right. So there are many
Like-
bodies that were bleeding, not just like one person that
So
got
It looks
this
like
is-
5 or 6 people were killed here.
Okay.
This is reminiscent of a situation we ran into back in
I was going to
Commonwealth.
say, can I check to see, can I make an Arcana check to see if there's that same like darkness here that we saw at the fort?
Sure.
21.
Yeah, you don't really see the dimness. You kind of like look around and like you don't really see the dimness. You're not sure what that dimness came from in the first place.
Sure.
So it's tough to like
Gauge it.
you can't rule out anything,
Right.
but you can't like you're looking around and you can't really see a similar like effect on the light.
Okay. At the other place, it was like a clear presence that there was something.
Yeah, but you're not sure why that was there.
Sure.
You
I just wanted to know
like-
if it was the same here as it was over there. Not necessarily the source, but like if it feels the same, like there's something clouding my judgment or perception of the area around me.
I don't think there is.
Okay.
It is peculiar because like at that depot, there are no bodies here.
Mhm.
Is there any writing anywhere?
No.
So this is very different.
It could be a bad thing,
It could be a good thing.
or it could be a good thing. Maybe one of those snake patrols came across a lion or a big old wolf and got torn up.
Could also be completely unrelated.
True. Let's move on.
Okie doke.
So you get back to camp within a day and a half,
Okay.
where Iona has been brought to the camp via Karen, who waited like on the rocks for her to like get off the boat, and was like, "Hey, over here, we're going this way." That took a long time.
Did you say the centaur's name was Karen?
Karen.
Karen.
Karen. Okay.
His name is Karen.
We're waiting for
Centaur's name
Karen.
He works in
Karen.
public relations. No,
It's finance.
Karen from
Karen
HR.
From finance. She's an Australian
I
drag
was-
queen,
I
and
was
she's my
confused.
favorite thing in the whole world.
All right.
one of many.
Yeah.
What?
Does Iona look normal? Like as we're approaching, does she look like normal or does she look like in a daze? Like
Is she hovering 3 feet off the ground with her eyes rolled back in her head, surrounded in
So
a cloud
not
of water?
She's speaking her language
She
backwards.
seems like she's weird to begin with, but like she seems.
all right, so here as we're walking up, I try to make eye contact and I'm just like, hello, how you doing?
Are you being weird about it?
No.
Oh, okay. Greetings.
She is.
Oh, good.
Iona,
That's normal.
how do you feel about books?
I love books.
She's fine.
Yeah, she's fine.
What's not to love about books? I can't get into this character right now. I'm giggling too much.
Snap out of it, Iona.
So we've
Business.
got a lot to cover. Why don't you all gather around? I'll start making some what time? Dinner, lunch.
What day is it?
It's-
Tuesday.
Right.
You remember
Mars Day.
Sunday.
What?
You remember Sunday. No, they've been gone for like 4 days, so like you spent like a day in the boat.
Ah. Okay.
What were you doing?
Talking.
To
I start making whatever meal it is.
Sure, it's like lunch.
Lunch. Great. I gather supplies and do that.
I assist him.
It's
I will
about
play
time
the
for
meal
brunch
making
con.
song. Na, 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 na. The meal making song.
While Iona tells her tale.
Giving him advantage on the food.
Yay.
I actually don't know what happened.
It's going to
yet,
be a
so-
great meal, people.
Awesome.
Because whatever, am I using dexterity for my meal making or wisdom today or intelligence? I don't really have to be dexterous.
No, we decided that wisdom
'cause
was
it's
like
kind of a creative meal.
yeah, wisdom was about like coming up with like just like hunches for food versus intelligence, which would be like line cook work.
Okay.
So my guess is you're doing wisdom.
Okay. So then it's a 22.
22 gives everyone advantage on a
Whoa.
roll. It gives everybody inspiration.
Whoa!
Brian never
Brian
gives that
never
inspiration.
gives
He didn't.
inspiration.
I do.
He
Build
didn't.
it.
Bill's food did.
We're building a mechanic here.
Bill?
So
I'm sorry, Ray, whatever you just cooked, remember that recipe, because I feel great.
We need to come up with like a name for that.
Food
like,
inspiration.
Foodspiration.
Food
not
Inspiration.
Real inspiration.
No, it's inspiration.
Inspirations.
Inspirations, yes!
it's good. I like it.
Snap.
Inspirations
So
and
I cook
Mattel.
up some
How fast
tasty
can we monetize
inspirations.
this?
The best thing
Yeah.
that I
Day.
could
Give
come
me
up
20
with
minutes in Photoshop.
has to involve some of the local,
Mushrooms.
mushrooms that I've been able to find, maybe, but also some like roots,
Sure.
to
Just
give
don't
it like a
tell
good
me
Are these
flavor.
the poosh rooms?
And then a few of the
mushrooms.
local herbs that are not available,
course
like near Commonwealth.
So how you feeling, Iona?
I'm fine.
Yeah? You
Yes.
were real adamant about being left alone.
Oh, yes,
We were a little worried about you.
I had something to do, and you all had something to do, so I did a thing and you did a thing.
And thus our things were completed.
Okay.
How was your trip?
Well, long story short, there are a bunch of snake people
A bunch.
trying to start a ritual that will bring forth a snake spirit into this realm. And we should maybe stop them. Because centaurs.
I mean, probably also because other things.
By the time Nadir's done talking, it's dinner time. Because
Yeah. just a lot to go through.
and he's explaining it
Like this.
to Iona.
I'm
Who's
curious
smarter than
curious.
what it would look like, though. I almost want to let them finish so we can see it and then kill it.
Yes, can we figure out what it is before we annihilate it?
I don't
we
appreciate
know
this science.
what it is.
Wait,
and it's
no,
bad.
we're supposed to rescue goblins, right? We killed goblins, but now we'll rescue.
These
Oh, I
goblins,
see
these
where you're
goblins don't want to
confused.
be killed because they were captured. The other goblins were attacking us, so we defended ourselves to their doom.
Karen leans down and he says, "It's my experience that most goblins don't want to be killed."
It's true. Most things don't want to be killed.
This is my point.
And then he goes back to his inspirations.
Great job.
He says, "Ooh, wolf and sassafras. This is delicious."
Perhaps I'm confused, but more likely you're not explaining it very well. Could you go about that? We were here for centaurs, but there's goblins.
Okay.
I'm confused.
Let me sum it up for you. Bad ritual,
Yes.
goblin sacrifice. We need to stop.
We are sacrificing the
No,
goblins?
no.
The
No.
goblins are sacrificing
The
themselves.
snakes are trying to sacrifice the goblins.
Oh.
We're unsacrificing.
And we're going to unsacrifice them
Why?
because we don't want the big snake spirit thing to take form.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. You good? I thought it was pretty simple the first time.
Sure. What does that have to do with the centaurs?
The centaurs are here. The centaurs asked us to come here to stop what the snake people are doing because they can't go to where the snake people are.
I see.
They want
You've been
us to
snorting a little
protect
too much
their-
water?
Their corpse fall.
No, she's right. After hearing the summary, that was weird.
Yeah, well. You do a better job.
Yeah, this is
Would you
your-
like to? We have time.
We really don't, actually.
Look, it's a convoluted adventure. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
We actually don't have time. We kind of need to head back there as quickly as possible because they're maybe 2 to 3 days away from that ritual being ready. And
Well,
we
now
need to
it's a day and a
stop
half.
that. Yeah, now it's a day and a half.
Let's go
so-
quickly.
It's best not to procrastinate. This is true.
Well, if someone hadn't locked themselves in the boat to begin with, we could have just
Brian,
gone and done it. But
I am going to gather some sticks and draw in the dirt using some sticks and kind of recreate this,
Ah.
and then lay a stick across the dugout that I'm making into the river.
This is
and put
very
a
good
few-
art, Ray.
This
Put a few
diagram is
rocks,
fantastic. It's
you know,
almost as
where
if
the
it's
tents are.
three-dimensional.
And then find the most colorful, special-looking rock and put it where the ritual is. Now, as Nadir was describing, we must interrupt this ritual before it completes, lest we have to maybe face a spirit, whether or not we know it's going to happen. We don't want to have to face any additional problems, and we certainly don't want the centaurs to have to deal with something that we couldn't deal with ourselves. As Nadir ruminated on, we could set fire to an area not too far away from here and as some kind of distraction method, but his own people wouldn't be distracted, they would just double down on the defenses. So we don't want to just rush in, because we'll probably get killed because they got the numbers. Quite a few more of them, and they're armed and armored. So what we could do is come up with a plan to be able to get at least whoever is over on this side of the bank taken care of. But really this side of the bank is the real problem. We got to get across the river, and there's one way to do it, and that's right there. Now, I was surveilling, and there's a way for us to get down here, if we're sneaky, to get close enough to this tree and then sneak up and cross. If we do it fast enough, we gain the advantage on this side of the bank. We go all out with whatever you got, spells, swords, arrows, whatever. But ultimately, two things have to happen. We've got to stop this ritual, and we've got to hold this bridge. Because if these guys here get across the bridge, we're outnumbered again.
we could just remove the bridge.
Well, I'm strong, but I ain't that strong, mate. And then, if we remove it, we're going to be in our own disadvantage because then we're going to have to go upriver quite a ways and cross without any help. I feel like if we can get across there, take the ritual guy out, and hold the bridge, we'll be okay. Now, my idea is to put these tents to flame. So somebody's going to throw oil on the tents. I'm going to shoot flaming arrows at them. That's a little bit of a distraction, but really, the main guy right there, he's got to get taken out. Yes.
How wide, when we were looking at this, how wide is the tree, like, in walking?
1 man or 2?
Yeah, one man cross or 2 man cross?
It looks
So,
man.
here's what I will say: you could fit 2 people on the tree, 2 abreast. However, it's a wet tree, and it's not like flat.
Right.
So, one person would have has trouble crossing and has to make a balance check.
Okay.
If you go 2 abreast, you're gonna have to do disadvantaged.
Okay.
Is there a way that we can come up on this side of the river?
The only other way is to go all the way upriver to where the rocks are,
The Highlands.
That would
the
be too
highlands,
long.
and go through the highlands, which is probably 3 days there and then 3 days back
No.
to get to where you are relative to the camp on the north side of the river.
3 days.
Oh,
What
and,
if one
and
was
to add to
days
this, we have to prevent the dead from falling in the river. So we can't use the river to our advantage because the centaurs would be very upset about that.
We could fish them out, mate.
Yeah?
If
Maybe-
by some chance, we don't want to intentionally put any of them in the river. But if it happens, we could fish them out. They can't fish them out.
I thought,
We can fish them out.
are we
They
sure
just,
about that?
they're just not supposed to go over the waterfall. If they go over the
Positive.
waterfall, that's bad news bears.
You're our centaur liaison, so I'm going with what Ray says. So don't intentionally drown anybody, but if they fall in the river, don't go in after them.
Now, I need to know what everybody can do. And I mean useful things. What's your most killingest spell
That's right. We've
or
only
power?
fought once with you, haven't we? That's
Yeah.
true. I was like,
Well, I asked about the tree because if we can all get to that side safely, I can prevent anyone from crossing with my cloud of daggers.
true.
That is what I'm talking about. But could you put the cloud of daggers right over the ritual site?
I could do that.
Because
too.
then nobody can get in there,
I could do that.
and you could just move it around and keep them away.
Can't move it around.
I could also cast
Wind?
a cloud of fog over here to kind of block anyone from seeing what's going on at the ritual site. She's flipping through her notebook. If we don't understand one of them, I could cast a spell and then they could speak the same language we could. I could also cast a... She's just going to keep
my
going
God.
through literally everything.
I pull out a
she's
small
got.
journal and give you a synopsis on what I've been collecting over the past couple of months. And that is the hardiest of our 2 would be Lotus and Sky. As far as any one of us, we can handle magic, although Iona seems to have more of it than the rest of us. I would be the fastest among us, and Nadir over there seems to have a lot at his disposal in terms of using a sword efficiently.
I'm also probably the stealthiest of us.
What about range versus up close?
I can do both.
Who's got
range?
range?
Is best for all of us.
Yeah.
If you want up close, again, that would be the meat people.
Those two.
No offense.
So
Just
I made a meat.
I've got a bow as well.
I'm thinking that maybe
flexible.
it's a combination, right? If we could get across the bridge, all of us, that would be ideal. But if we can't, having the option for range, you can pick off people as they're coming across the bridge, make it a little bit more difficult, save the cloud of daggers for the ritual site, and keeping the big snaky guy away from it.
Ayy.
Right?
And then we could go in and kill him. He's the #1 target. You cut the head off the snake and the rest of them will fall.
But
Is that how it works historically?
That's how it's going to
Yeah,
work
when you
tomorrow,
move heads, things
tomorrow
die.
night, love.
Just in terms of utility, I can turn myself invisible.
Well, that would be helpful to know.
Wow. I can only hold it for about an hour.
Right.
I could also attempt to keep all of them very polite.
God, you're like if a librarian was in D&D.
This is my favorite
Yes.
strategy.
Literally your whole
That's
thing.
exactly what this is.
Do you have a spell where you just go shh, and everyone?
It's called silence.
And everyone gets. But no one is silenced. They'll just immediately go, oh shit, sorry.
It's called calm emotions, and I have it.
But what I'm out of character, what I'm not too clear on is because it says everything on your person goes invisible, and you remain invisible until you attack or cast a spell.
Yes.
Am I able to light something on fire without going visible?
No.
No.
That's what I thought.
And furthermore,
am I able to-
remember that you leave tracks.
Am I able to douse things in oil without going visible, and someone else light them from a distance?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I
that could
could
be
do
how
that.
you douse the tents, and then, Skylar could light them up with a flaming arrow.
Yeah.
So we would already have to be across. So, what's your stealth? Pretty good.
I'm purple.
Yeah, but remember so Brian, timeline wise,
Sure.
we have time to take a short rest. Which should get how long is the trip back?
It's a day and a half.
It's a day and a half.
So I'm trying to think
So we
what
won't
time
know.
it'll
So
be
there's
when we
no-
get there.
Like,
So if it's afternoon
you're gonna have
now-
to take a long rest. You're gonna be dealing with exhaustion issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we
it's
can, we
afternoon
can do
now.
Song of Rest though on a short rest,
Yeah,
can't we?
we'll be
Take it,
fine if we have to take the day and a half.
What I'm
off.
trying to say is like we
He wants
got to
to
get back
approach
there
at
as
night.
soon
It's
as
gonna be
possible,
cut
but I
it
want to be
close,
I want to
like-
be there at night.
If
Let's
we leave
move.
right after lunch, which we should, we'll be there by tomorrow afternoon.
It seems as if you could get there at approximately the time the ritual began.
Ah.
tomorrow afternoon.
How cinematic.
That's why I'm saying couldn't we take a short rest?
We wouldn't need to.
Take
We
whatever
traveled.
rests you need. You're pretty sure you could get there about the time the
Yeah.
ritual began.
Yeah.
So I don't care because I don't have spells. But if we're rested enough, then I would want to pack up our shit, get as much of the for what we need for the plan to go as possible. The only other insurance plan that I think we need is if for some reason this situation where we get across the bridge and that works, but they're across the other people from this side, the other snake people from this side, are making it across the bridge. Can you drop the cloud of daggers from the ritual and launch a new one in the middle of the bridge?
I can.
Okay, so in other words, save your spells.
All right.
So she doesn't have to cross the bridge, because your range is what?
No, I am up close. I'm an up close.
No,
shooter.
I'm saying, yeah, now you get that part.
Oh,
What
you
I'm
mean
saying
as
is
far as like
for where you can cast the cloud.
I
it's
could
60
be about
feet.
60 feet away.
So here's the thing then, if once we have to decide who's staying on this side and who's staying on this side. So you can attack from range, or close up, or what are you better at?
These two are more
I
up
can
close.
do whatever I need to do.
Okay,
Range is more everybody but you three. We're more designed for range. They're able to withstand up close a little better.
It'd be best if I came. I'm not an up close fighter per se, but it'd be best if I came with you.
I only have up close weapons.
all right. So here's the thing. If you were on this side of the bridge and you couldn't cross, could you still attack people either on this side or on this side? That's what I'm trying to say. We got to
I could.
split it up.
Yeah, I could do either
Yeah.
or. The
All of
ideal
my
position would be for me to be with the upfront casters, but I mean,
I don't think there's gonna be upfront casters. She-
upfront fighters is what I meant. Sorry.
Okay.
All of my, I could probably stay on this side.
You'd probably be really good at keeping people from crossing over too.
Yeah. I'm also a good swimmer, so that helps out maybe. I don't know.
In the event you end up in the water.
Yeah. It wouldn't be the worst.
Are you a good waterfall survivaler?
Let's hope
She's half
we don't
salmon.
have
She
to
can
find
swim
out.
upstream.
Tyler, you're up close no matter what.
With a swim speed, you feel like you're relatively safe.
If you
regardless.
want me to go invisible
unless you
and
get
light
within,
stuff on
like,
fire,
10
Right,
and
You're
douse
going to
stuff
be the
falls.
first one
to cross.
to cross.
Yeah, I
You're
can-
going to douse the tents.
I can
so
do
you're
that.
already going to be on this side. LaTia's going to.
Because if you want, because I mean,
I have a stupid high stealth as well,
Yeah,
so I can get across. What I'm saying is, though, is that once we light this up, like
Yeah.
we have to have the
Okay.
signal so that he knows when to light it up.
Yeah, the other question is, who has oil?
I do.
I do.
I have 3 oiled
That's fine.
lanterns.
Yeah. All
I
right.
have perfume I have no use for.
I don't think that's gonna light
Not
on
necessarily
fire.
flammable.
Oh, a lot
I mean, it
of
might
it
be, I
is.
Maybe.
It has a
Depends on
ton
the
of
alcohol.
It's
alcohol.
either
in it.
that, guys, or we modify the plan and we light just that farthest tent on fire.
We'll
We
need,
use that as a distraction to
we'll
get
need
from
someone
here
posted
across.
here to keep them from getting across, though, if they see this on fire.
Right, but all right. So imagine we've all snuck down to here, right? So now we're here.
Why don't we just take that tent for our own as the first thing we do and use it as cover?
Well, because ultimately, like Chris said, we want to stop people from
Crossing the bridge.
crossing there, which is fine. I mean, we could have a blaster or a ranged person in that tent to use, or a tree for cover. But the point is we kind of want to get from here to there, to across, to kill him and stop the ritual.
Rah.
My concern is that there are more tents on this side, and we saw. So the likelihood is that there's going to be more people on this side. So we have to have people that are upfront fighters to take out the leader and defend
If you're
against the
sneaky
people on
enough,
that
Ray,
side.
I can make sure these 2 get across. I can make both of them invisible.
Oh, the
Right,
other
but then
thing
that
is,
leaves you and her
Just
on
don't
the,
think
on
it's
the
going
side
to
by
be as
yourselves.
predictable
Well,
as you're
again,
wanting.
Nadir and
Nothing ever
Iona
is.
are the better ranged people.
Then we all have to get across.
the other point here.
And the only thing stopping them from crossing is her cloud of daggers, which I'm fine with, but then everybody's got to get across.
Why is that?
Because if we're not going to, then we can't hold the bridge.
With
If
these
we aren't
2?
going to leave people here,
With
I
these
have,
2?
yeah, I have like gust of wind.
Iona can hold the bridge on her own. I don't know if you were there, but she blew sailors off their own ship.
well then, but
You weren't there
what
either.
I'm saying is,
Oh, Nadir wouldn't stop talking
you
about
said
it.
you're better
told
with
the story 'cause it
frontline
was
fighters.
hilarious.
So you're going to want to come across.
Another
Right.
point of order that we need to be aware of here is that this is a blood ritual. This dude is going to be trying to kill people to start the ritual, as well as some fanatics are probably going to try to kill themselves to
Right.
start the ritual.
Well-
So we also need to make sure we don't get blood here. That seems like a bad idea.
Okay.
I'm guessing.
So maybe gust of wind will come in handy to push people away from the ritual spot.
That's
And
her
we
deal.
and every so in other words, I'm
can
thinking
just
everybody
turn.
cross the bridge. Everybody needs to get to this side, so we're all there. We're not
Sure.
splitting our
So
force.
don't light the bridge.
The cloud of daggers is just here, and we forget lighting the tents up. We
Right.
just
Yeah, so we
we
can
just go in.
So the 4 of
we
us can
all-
sneak across.
we
These
all
2 stay and
cross.
hold the bridge. If they need to use their spells to blow people off the bridge, they can, or keep them from getting on it in the first
Well, and we're
place.
going to have Cloud of Daggers on the bridge.
That's
So
fine.
bored.
Easy, Sky. We'll get there soon. I promise.
You've got a weird bloodlust for such a peaceful dude.
But if the 4 of us get across, we can sneak in and at least hold a position while they hold the bridge. Once we're ready to engage, they can get across at their own leisure.
So she doesn't use cloud of daggers
I- well,
until it's
I-
necessary.
She can drop it when she needs
Yeah,
to.
I have plenty of times to use it if I'm going to be fighting.
Okay.
Like if I'm going to be up close, I'm not going to have a lot
So
of.
then
use
we're
for
going
my
to make
spell
our way
slots.
down, sneak across. The stealthiest people are going to get across first
Yes.
and start the ambush, and then you guys will come across.
Oh, and I look
Yes.
like one of them when I have my helmet visor down.
Oh, there you go.
Does he really?
They stole their armor.
Oh, that's awesome. Well done, Skylark.
Skylark, are
Yes.
you terribly good at lying?
I physically can't lie, but I can sing. Boy, can I sing.
Yeah, they don't sing.
Not
Don't,
as-
don't do that until we're fighting.
Not a skill that we need.
My thought was perhaps with this helmet, we could parade in as we were one of them, bringing more for the sacrifice, and then surprise attacks.
Like walking in with a Wookiee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if they ask me a question that I can't answer honestly, I'll just throw it back at them.
I'm gonna
They say,
assume
"Who are
that
you?"
I would
I said,
know that
"Who
that
are
would
you?"
work.
Oh, see,
It's a
that's
fair
very
assumption.
good. That's lying adjacent.
That's also just not gonna work. It won't
It
work.
won't?
No, sorry.
You seem to know quite a bit about these people.
We were watching them for a long
It's
time.
very handy.
We were watching them for a while.
And he
They're
had the
not-
spyglass.
They're not stupid. This is an insular group that they're all here for the same purpose. Even the workforce, they're not slaves. They're people who are here to do the work. They all know each other. He's going to stick out like a sore thumb. Especially, have you met Skylark?
Yes.
He's just the way he skips into the camp is going to give it away.
I won't skip.
This time,
I'll hold myself back.
it's best
Won't
for us.
skip, he'll saunter.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be best for us to go in as stealthily as we can. If possible, I think the best thing to do would be to try to get people away from here. So maybe trying to push them to that side of the river. But if we want to come this side and fight them here, we can do that too.
Why in that regard, why do any of us need to cross the bridge? If they see commotion going on over here, aren't they going to come to us to try to stop them?
He said they'll
They're-
double down.
Well, that's the thing. If we did something outside of the camp, they'll double down the protection on the camp. But if we do something in the camp, that I'm not sure.
Here's a suggestion. What if from this side of the river, I could make them run away from the ritual site?
I don't know that that's going to work.
Why not?
Your magics would have to
Oh, why
be
not?
stronger than their particular magic, and that's
could work.
not always accomplishable. It could work, but it may not.
Well, anything that we've said here today could work, and it also could not. It's
true.
You got to take that risk.
That is the law of probability. Good job.
I'm not worried.
All right, let's.
We'll win.
So that's the plan then. Sneak over, light things on fire, fight stuff, stop the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do
Stop
it.
the apocalypse.
Yes. Stop the apocalypse.
Are we?
Oh,
What?
Cairn, I have a question for you. On our way back, we ran into an absolute mess of blood.
3 of
like
them.
a murder scene. Just body,
Like
but
a
no bodies.
crime.
Just blood everywhere. No bodies. And tried to track things out. Couldn't find any bodies. Looked like some boot prints, man-sized, and then smaller boot prints, and then maybe some paw prints. You wouldn't have any idea what kind of creature could do that kind of damage.
The only things in boots on this island are you and those serpent folk.
What about the paws? The paws?
How big was the
Trespasser.
paw?
I estimate. Was it?
Like the size of a dire wolf, probably.
Yeah, pretty big.
I mean, dire wolves are not altogether. Occasionally, wolves grow to the size of dire wolves on this island, but they typically leave like a carcass behind, like something behind.
Not a shred.
It was my brother.
Are you being serious right now?
It makes sense when you think about it.
Can you tell when he's near?
Would you elaborate? Not sure I quite understand.
Well, we've seen that he can turn into a very large wolf,
Right?
and we've seen that he can kill every single person in a camp and leave no trace of the bodies.
Right. True. Skylark.
Skylar, can you make a wisdom saving throw?
Oh no,
Do you think your brother would help us out with killing some snake people?
I cannot.
Okay, thank
That-
you.
I rolled a 1.
That was a
all I
categorical
need.
no.
Oh, no.
Do you think your brother would help us out with fighting against these snake people?
I think he already has.
Well, I would agree with in that case.
But would he want to keep helping?
That depends on.
Roll an insight check.
That depends on this insight check.
8.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Man.
I really.
He's a deeply troubled young man. I couldn't tell you what he would or won't do.
Lovely. All right.
Shall we be off?
Right.
Is that you're gonna head back?
Yes.
Okay. So you take a day and a half.
Yes.
You get to a familiar ridge.
Yes.
You look down on this camp, and you.
And it's empty. Damn it!
All of Skylark's greatest fears are coming to fruition here. You see a large wolf with what appear to be 6 halflings with scythes, not scythes, sickles. And they are just mowing down cultists on the south side of the river and dismembering them. And you watch as these halflings like grab body parts and like shove whole body parts in their mouth. And just the entire scene is devoid of any viscera. They're just shoving all
So
of
they're
these,
not normal halflings?
clearly not.
I
They're
whispered.
not halflings. Look
I
at-
whispered.
Look
everyone,
at their caps.
What
They're
are
very
they?
red.
What
Is
are
that
they?
very common?
Oh, Jesus.
Their
what are
caps?
those?
What are those?
What are those?
Excuse me.
Yeah, we
I have a
all-
question.
They soak their caps in the blood of their foes. That's how they stay alive.
I mean, they also eat things whole, but
Right, so.
So that's some stuff I've
two
never
things
seen
on one
before.
Those aren't real.
Number
so
one.
here's real quick. You watch as they basically clean out the south side of the riverbank, and then through your spyglass, you notice as this large wolf assumes through his spyglass, you notice that this large wolf assumes the form of a pretty like wretched-looking humanoid,
Yeah.
and like just looks up to the hill you're on.
Oh, God.
And gives like a grimace, like he's very unpleased with what he's been tasked to do. And one by one, these small halflings, like little like dim spots open up next to them, and they jump in these little dim spots, and they vanish. And then Trespasser does the same.
Thank you. I don't shout. I don't shout.
As long as they don't appear behind
Quick
us.
question.
So many
I whip
questions.
pan over to this side of the river to see what their reaction
That's a
is.
great question, and we'll get to that next time on the Bards.
Dun, 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 dun.
Hey neighbors, the handyman here again with Initiative Coffee Company. Instagram, Initiative Coffee Co., Initiative Coffee Company on YouTube, Init Coffee Co. on Twitter. So check us out, and hopefully we'll see you soon.